Hockey season is only a month and a bit away, guys. Let's jump in pre-season review. Today we're going to do the Pittsburgh Penguins. So Jaden, why don't you take us through their lineups looking like currently?
Yeah, so just using cap wages, go through their forwards. You've obviously got the Crosby, Malkin, Rust, Raquel, Hayes, Novak, Mantha, Heinen, Achari, Lizotte, Tomasino, Brazo, and Duar. Defense, we got Carlson, Letang, Graves, Dumba, Clifton, Witherspoon, Shea, and Alexeyev, and goalies Jari and Blomqvist is there at the moment. I don't think there's too many notables in the non-rosters, but there may be that I may have missed. But yeah, so not too much changes. They pretty much signed all the free agent signings they had to at the end of the year. Brought pretty much majority of people back. Really, the big changes were on the defense. There was, I'll just go to the signings here. So you got Anthony Mantha in the forward line came in, 2.5 mil, Brazo 1.5 mil, and Witherspoon there on the defense. Tomasino extended. There's a few extensions there as well. And in regards to trades, before July, there was really only the Connor Clifton. I won't mention Bouvillier because it was in March. They brought in Connor Clifton, lose Connor Timmins, so trading Connors for Connors, one in for two, and then Isaac Bolivier going as well to Buffalo. And then this season, they trade out Nedeljkovic to the Sharks. They bring in Dumba, trading out Kolya Chonok. My God, these names. And then obviously bringing in a replacement for Nedeljkovic in Silovs.
Yeah.
So that was probably the goaltender I didn't mention in the original rundown. Is Silovs there, as they didn't have him in the lineup, and
Yeah.
obviously trading out Chase Tillman there. So a few moves on the defensive and goaltending department. Not too much in the forward department. Like I said, they lose. Was it Olivier Joseph? I think free agency, and not too much else. So pretty much running it back with a little bit of different in regards to defense and goaltending. And yeah, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, look, I mean, I I don't know. You sit there with Sidney Crosby still um, you know, playing unbelievable hockey year in, year out. Anything's possible. Um, and I do think, they've made a couple of improvements, but you look at what they've got to come up against in the Metro, and I know the Metro's not, the strongest division out there, but you still got to get past teams like Washington, Carolina, New Jersey, New York. Like they're your four teams just straight off the bat. And with the how strong Atlantic, there's a good chance that you're only getting 3 shots in the Metro wild card. There's a good chance that 5 teams from the Atlantic make it. So, yeah, I know once they've got Crosby, they're obviously gonna go for it, but I also don't see why you. And I know some Pens fans probably don't want to hear it, but it's got to be a question going around the franchise at the moment is, do you look to move Crosby on and get the assets and start this rebuild? Because to me, I don't think there's anything you can do to this team to turn it into a Stanley Cup caliber team outside of completely tanking this season, winning the first overall draft pick and drafting Gavin McKenna, and starting the cycle again, like they did with Crosby.
The fix is in.
The fix is in. Yeah, I mean, there's already a lot of people about that where the league's already guaranteed that Pittsburgh are going to win the number one draft pick no matter where they finish. But yeah, to me, like I think it's pointless at this stage for this team to be attempting to be anything outside of a bottom 5 team. And I know that's such a waste of Crosby's. It's like, for one, I want Crosby to play not just for the next 2 seasons, but I want him to continue playing in Jaromir Jagr age. I don't want to see Crosby retire. Like these, it's for you and myself. Like Crosby and Ovechkin were the two big players just taking the league by storm when we obviously began watching the NHL when we were young.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to see him go. I definitely don't want to see him fade out into nothing whilst Pittsburgh just don't make playoffs every season. So it's kind of hard. I don't want to see him in
Yeah.
another jersey really, but I also want to see him
But the
go
thing
on.
the thing that's hard for me, the reason why I wouldn't mind seeing him leaving Pittsburgh is just it's hard to watch him doing those amazing passes, but because he doesn't have the line mates for it,
Nothing comes of it.
nothing comes
Yeah,
from it, and it's like
yeah.
like
I-
god
Imagine
level
him with
plays and passes, but because he
yeah,
doesn't have the team for it, nothing comes
yeah.
from it, and it
Imagine
hurts to
him.
watch. Yeah,
Yeah, imagine him with McKinnon on
yeah.
Colorado.
So
He'd
I
end
would
up
like to
running.
see him go to the Avs, play with
Yeah,
McKinnon. I think that would be
McKinnon.
nice to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Look, their forward line it needs improvement. They've got
Hmm.
Raquel. He's a great asset to trade. He's a high value trade asset there. But the first player that you would move, if you're moving anyone, in my opinion, would be Eric Carlson. That's
Hmm.
the key piece to move to do these transitions. The player I didn't mention that they have lost as well so far was Matt Grzelcyk off the defense. Currently a
Yeah, big
UFA,
one.
hasn't signed. He had a career season, highest point totals in his career with 40 points, 39 assists. So that is a big loss when you're just losing him for free. They have brought in Matt
Hmm.
Dumba as and Connor Clifton as those type of replacements. Um, bring Silovs on the goaltending. They had to address goaltending because Jari just doesn't cut it.
Hmm.
And that's my problem with the team as well is the goaltending situation. You can look at the forwards, you can look at the defense, but the goaltending is also not there.
Yeah,
So I've got a lot of gripes with the team. They do have 13 million in cap space. They got a lot of draft picks because obviously they're about to go on a rebuild. 3 seconds this year, 3/3 in next year. It's going to be crazy, but I think you got to either use that 13 million and bring in people, but you're doing that, you're trading away draft picks that you'll probably need in the future. So it's a win-loss.
yeah.
But
You're
I
just
think you
pushing
start with
back the
Carl. I think
rebuild.
you have to start with Carlson. I think that's
Yeah,
your starting point.
yeah. Look, I agree. I think they need to start the fire sale here, and they've already made it known that Malkin's going to be offered another contract at the end of the year. So you you surely don't just let Malkin's contract run out. And I mean, obviously, Malkin says, I'm staying for the career and I'm going to retire a pen, then so be it. But if the first thing I'd be doing is saying to Malkin, man, do you want to be moved? Do you want to go? So, I just don't. You can't see this team doing anything. I can't see them straight cards, um, let alone winning the cup. So, and I know they're in that we don't know what to do because we've got arguably the best player in NHL in Crosby, and we don't want to just give him up. I get that, but this team's not built. So you got to do something because otherwise, after this season as well, like you got all those UFAs, so you're just going to lose all those players for free, or are you going to try and flip those guys for assets? To me, yeah, your Raquels and your Russ, like they've got value. So why not? Why
Well,
not
it's
try
at
and
it's
flip
it's at its highest,
assets?
right? So
Exactly.
if you're doing it
Especially
from a
with the
logical
Carlson
point like that,
situation.
yeah.
The Carlson situation, you can buy out $5 million of that cap, and you'll get stuff for Carlson. I know. Obviously, he isn't the greatest, but he's still an offensive beast on that blue line. And most teams are going to be okay paying Carlson $5 million year to, potentially be their power play QB or just a second backup QB. Like, it, people are going to be willing to pay $5 and per season for this season and next for this guy, and they'll give up assets for.
Yeah, we've done videos
And
before, and we had Toronto being the biggest team
I
that
mean,
should be going for a Carlson, like where you can make
should
that,
be looking like
taking
it.
that
Yeah,
risk. So I would be knocking on their door, like, hey, what can we do?
yeah,
Because they're kind of in win now mode, don't need a lot of their draft picks and whatever
mm,
else you can scrape along. So that's what I would do. The defense also is like old and slow.
mhm.
You got Ryan Graves, who's really good but really slow. Letang,
He's a
38.
stay-at-home D man.
Yeah, stay at home D man. But you got Dumba, Clifton. Like, it's very slow defense, and that's what worries
Yeah,
me about this D. Is I don't see where that like electric speed's going to come that can break a line, that the McCars, Quins, all that really transfer that puck really quickly. And this is why the goaltending gets exposed, and Jari not being the best. Hopefully he can come back. But he's had his worries, and then when you have a D playing like they do in front of you like that, then that can be just overexposed, and that's
mhm.
my concern. And that's where I think it all breaks down. Um,
Yeah, I
they they
yeah,
just don't have enough. They don't have enough speed, and on that D core, they don't have the goaltending for it, and they don't have the forward firepower to put in enough goals if that does falter. I can't
mhm.
see this team putting in 5 goals.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you totally. And you look at their prospect pool. Like Philip Tomasino. He's got a lot of potential. 24, but is he going to come out and have a breakout season to the point where he's turning them into a playoff contender? No, no, he's not. You've got Rutger McGrady. He looked okay last season in the 8th trial he played, but he's not going to change anything. Ville Kuvanen, I don't know if I'm saying that right. He came in the same thing, trial, reasonably well, but you're not expecting these kids to come into the team. On Pickering played reasonably well in a few games he played last well, but like you're not expecting these guys to turn the team into a playoff contending team. Like they're not those sorts of players. They're probably players that'll be a part of their rebuild, but yeah, like I don't see where this team takes a step on where they've been the last 2 or 3 seasons. I can't see it. And I feel like if they don't address reality of the fact that like they're done, they need to enter a rebuild, it's just going to be another wasted year. They're going to put themselves
Yeah,
8, 9, 10th to last in the in the league. They're going to lower their chances of getting the number pick, and it just honestly it'll just push their rebuild back another season. It'll just be another wasted season of
yeah,
career. They lose Malkin. Um, you know, uh, to me, Dubas has to make the call and make it this season and say, guys, this is what we're doing. We're hitting a rebuild. You know, no move clause, modified no trade clause. Give me your teams. Do what I need to do. Hit the team. And whether that's at the trade deadline, so be it. But like they can't be they can't be doing reasonably well this season to the point where they're definitely not making the wild card spot, but they're almost in no man's land. They can't do that because it's just going to be a waste of a season.
yeah. There's the
Um,
problem, the juggling, and they're trying to win it, but also they have to do rebuild at the same time, and so then you sit in no man's land, and then you end up in no man's land.
mm,
They got 13 million in cap space, obviously, to make future moves and eat bad contracts, get more picks and stuff. Look, the bright side for Pittsburgh, the dark horse in the room, is that they replaced Mike Sullivan with Dan Muse.
mhm,
They got a new head coach, pretty much majority of the coaching staff's been replaced with Dan Muse's appointees, and that's your dark horse that coaching system just works and meshes well with the team, and they come out going firepower. But that's the question mark. Is the coaching going to be able to bring this team across the line? There's some big names. It's doable. I think even if you get it right, I think the goaltending still lets you down if you can't see them come through. So maybe if it works out for half the season, maybe they improve in that department later on. But yeah. So as a Pittsburgh fan, that's your big question mark: is how does the coaching system going to turn out with basically the whole bench being replaced there?
Mm-hmm.
And
All
I
right.
guess my question to you, you
Yeah.
did questions to me. um, can you see this team even being a wild card chance? Do you think they have the ability? Is the new head coach enough question mark? Does the new D lineup make that push?
No. I don't like betting against Crosby because of just how good he is. And any team with Crosby is obviously going to be a lot better. But no, personally, I can't see them even getting near a wild card spot. And I the thing is that they might get within 6, 7, 8 points of a wild card spot. But to me, I still think if they finish 6 points shy, they're gonna finish 3 places behind the wildcard spot. So like my point of that is that I think you'll have two wildcard teams, and even if they're 6 points back and only 6 points back, I still think you have team that misses out, team that misses out, team that misses out, Pittsburgh, because the East is too stacked. In a
Okay.
sense, like
Yeah.
I don't think the Metro is all that strong, but
No,
you know,
I
like
agree. I agree. I think the Metro is
there's
like a strong-ish on the top end, but it's got
mm-hmm,
some weak points at the bottom end.
mm-hmm,
But they are getting stronger as well. But it's
and
not
the
it's not an
Atlantic's just
Atlantic.
dangerous.
Yeah,
No,
it's not an Atlantic at the moment. Um,
no.
I guess my other question is, it's not what you would do, it's what you do
Mm-hmm.
see happening. Do you
Mm-hmm.
see an Eric Carlson or a Ricard Raquel being traded this year?
I see Eric Carlson being traded. Yes, I think Carlson will go. I think it's just going to be a question mark on how much Dubas to retain. I think that if Dubas does the smart thing and retains as much as he can, um, Carlson's going to get moved. Whether Pittsburgh retains or not, I think if they didn't want to retain all of it, they'll bring the team in to retain. Carlson will be there by trade deadline this season. The Raquel one, I hope they trade him. That's more of the question mark is going to be because the big thing that stopped them trading him this season was they had a thought in their mind worth, and no one wanted to come to the table for that. I didn't disagree with Dubas on what he thought Raquel was worth because Raquel was putting up he almost put up 40 goals this season, thereabouts. Like he was somewhere
Yeah, he's a crazy,
35
crazy,
goals.
crazy, crazy
Yeah,
offense. Yeah.
35 goals in an absolute trash side. So yeah, he was phenomenal. But that's going to be the question mark: is will someone come to the table with an offer that Dubas is willing to take? Because again, Raquel's got 3 years on his contract. Dubas does not have to him and trade him for less than what he's worth. So Eric Carlson, yes, 100%. Kel is going to be whether someone comes to the table, because if no one comes to the table with worth taking, I don't blame Dubas for not moving him on,
Yep.
especially when he's 3 seasons left.
All right. Well, that's my questions. I don't have too much more to add unless you have anything else.
No, that's it for me. I just ultimately I just want to see Pittsburgh do the right thing. move on and move into the next phase of their rebuild because yeah, I hate seeing Crosby in a really poor Pittsburgh team.
Hmm.
And yeah, I want to see them do the right thing rather than hold that nostalgia that is Crosby and the 3 cups and the dynasty that he created with the Pens. It's time to move past that, move on to the next phase, start your rebuild.
Yeah, move
You
on to
can move
McKenna.
on.
I will leave it.
Move on
We'll,
to
we'll leave it there. Move on to McKenna.
move on to McKenna. Yeah, 100%.
All right. Yeah, let us know what you think of the Pittsburgh Penguins, where you think they'll end up, how you thought our analysis was, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below. But till next time, we'll catch you guys.
See you guys.